Hey, hi. It's Q&A day, and I don't see anybody here right now, and maybe nobody will show up, but I got something to talk to y'all about. So this is the thing. I'm just actually right now taking attending a conference about pornography and looking at the impact of pornography in childhood and children in all kinds of different ways. And so I did the first session this morning, and I just have to say I was really shocked about what I'm going to tell you. And so, yeah, I'll just jump right in. So, people who work with children who've been sexually abused or suspect sexual abuse, so usually they're in child advocacy centers or they are, pediatricians, nurses, all kinds of different folks that interact with kids who may have been sexually abused, say they've been sexually abused, talk about that kind of stuff with children. That's their job. And I'm not going to be particularly nice about this because I am kind of mortified. They don't ask them as a matter of course, have you seen pornography in whatever age appropriate way that looks, right? So with a little tiny person who's 4 or 5, you're going to say, have you seen any videos of naked people? With a kid who's 7, 8, 9, you're going to say pornography, naked people, people having sex, and then on up. They're not asking that as a matter of course, which blows my mind. It is 2023. And if you have anything to do with kids in any way, you know that they are being exposed to pornography at some point in some way. Now, I know people like to put their heads in the sand about this kind of thing because we don't want to think about it. We don't want to talk about it. Understandably, it's awful, but it is a part of childhood. And maybe because of my field, maybe because I'm the one that gets the calls from the parents, maybe, whatever. But professionals who are working in the field of sexual abuse, of all things, aren't asking. So guess what? I get it. This is uncomfortable. I understand that you don't want to open a Pandora's box of yucky stuff, but this is about children's health and safety. It's about reality of childhood. So couple things. If you know folks who work with children in a therapeutic aspect, if they I don't care who they are, whatever, some kind of deal where they work directly with children in a therapeutic way, whatever that looks like. Do me a favor, do them a favor and ask them, hey, do you ask kids about porn exposure? Just as a matter of course, I don't care if they're in there because they're like, can't stop picking their nose. Like, ask them, do you talk to kids about porn exposure? Do you ask them about porn exposure? And when they say no, which they probably will, then I would love it if you would say, hey, you know what? This gal, Amy Lang, works, blah, blah, blah. Tell them who I am. You know what? It is really important because of the rate of exposure that this is something that comes up in conversation with kids. It can be really awful and sexually abusive to them. And so just throw it out there. Now you're going to get some kind of like, maybe like, oh my God, never thought of this. And then you can just channel not me and be really calm and say something kind like, oh, I'm not surprised to hear that. It's really not top of mind for people. You can be nice and do that. Or you can go all me and say, what the hell, but don't do that. So just say, yeah, it's really important because this is such an unfortunate thing that's happening to kids and it can really mess them up. Just a thought, right? Just a thought. If you get big pushback and they say it's not my department, it's not my field, and then you can just say, but isn't child safety, health and safety part of what you do? Like, I get that this might not be directly related to the work you do, but it's definitely something that's impacting kids. Something to think about, and then go on your merry way. Now, I realize y'all aren't me. Like, you're not me. Like, I would do that in a hot minute. I'm doing it right now because I am mortified that this is not happening. I would also like to say to you all working directly with children in childcare or whatever you're doing in early childhood teaching, whatever. Also, something that if you're having a one-on-one with a kid, if something's come up, a behavioral issue that's not sex related or sexuality related, to just check and say, have you ever seen photos of naked people? If it makes sense, right? Now, you're in a different position than someone who's doing like sexual abuse stuff with a child. That sounded terrible. That's working with a child who's been sexually abused. I get that. But if you could just put this in your head in some way that if an opportunity arises, a kid engages in any kind of sexual behavior, please ask, or ask the parents to ask. because parents don't understand how easy it is to get to porn. Anyway, you've heard me say all this a million times. But one other thing too, is that I think some of this is generational. I think that people who are probably over 40, we're still in this space around, I had to work to see it. I had to find the Playboys. I had to watch the Showtime through the squiggles. I had to the DVDs and the VHS tapes were behind curtains for the adult section in the video store, right? We're coming out of that mindset where it wasn't everywhere. So we don't think that it could happen. I think that's a generational thing that's happening. So if you're in that space, wake up, because it is everywhere. It is instantly accessible, and it's a thing. So for those of you who are maybe younger, I'm guessing this might resonate with you because you grew up seeing porn online. You understand what that's like. But then the problem there may be that it's just normal, right? Especially for kids who are folks who are in their 20s. It's normal. Porn is normal, right? But so they don't have the same kind of perspective of it's, yeah, sure, looking at it is normal. It's something that happens. It's usual, but the impact, can't quite see the impact because you're too close. It doesn't feel like a problem. Anyway, so they just got me super riled up. And so that's what I'm just going to say to you today. So takeaways, Amy's pissed. You can do something. Ask the people that work with children in a therapeutic sense in any way. Do you ask them about porn consumption? Do you ask them? Because this is a health and safety issue. And if you're working with kids directly or you have your own kids, if there's an opportunity where you suspect, so you might have language, you might have behavior, something, please ask the child, hey, have you ever seen any videos of naked people, right? And they're like, hey, seen any videos of naked people? Hey, what do you think about the weather today? Same tone. And again, this is about health and safety. It's not about anything else. It's not about values. It's not about anything but health and safety. And we all share that value, right? We all want kids to be healthy and safe. All right, I'm going to stop ranting because I'm pissed and I want you to help me. And so in light of that, if you've watched all of my rantings and ramblings here today, if you would like me to do some training with your folks about the impact of pornography, how to talk about it with kids, supporting families and all that, happy to do it. Yeah, so if you're watching me on YouTube, there's contact information down below. And if you don't know what to do with this, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help, and this is my job, right? Okay, I'm going to stop recording because this is open Q&A time, but I ain't got no cues. So I'm just going to stop recording, and if somebody comes on, I'll start recording.